All right. Hello, hello. Can everybody hear me? Hey, hey. Tebow tweet. What did Tebow tweet? Let's see. Let's see. All right, let me share my screen. Is the vague posting already starting? Is that what's happening? Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, come on. Stay tuned. We're rebooting our office Wi-Fi. Absolutely. All right. Yeah, let's see. What's going on? What's going on? I think according to Sam Altman, they actually might release 5.5 today. If this salute emoji says anything, that is what we know. They're going to introduce GPT, which can count numbers. Yeah, this was Drunk Sam. That's right. This this was Drunk Sam. That's true. That's why he gave it away. So we're either getting 5.5 or 6 today, according to Drunk Sam. Brian hyping up the room, hyping up chat. Ray, what's up, Ray? Got Ray Fernando in here. AGI yet? Yeah, man. Maybe. We'll see. Ray, Ray, you available to come hang out on stream for a minute? Let's see. I'll send you a link. All right, let's look for some other vague posting. This is what OpenAI is known for. Yeah, there it is. NS41. I don't know what that is. I know, Alex, you were saying what that was, but I don't know. All right, let's see. Alex, All right, let's see what else is going on in the meantime. All right, Peter Steinberger, employee of OpenAI, steps to reproduce my favorite security advisories. Nope. No vague posting there. All right, Beth, if Spud is really good, could mean a big gain for Codex over the next weeks. The Mythos Aura farm may have cost Anthropic the lead. A16Z led Glyph's seed round. Glyph, I think Jonah is a big fan of Glyph. Oh, look at that. Base 64. Okay, we got to put this on stream. Base 64 decode of NS41 equals 5.5. The vague posting gets better. What's up, Ray? Let me bring you in. Give me a second. Nope, that wasn't right. Working on it. I'm working on my game here. I'm going to have to do this. Let's see. Assign. I'm still new to this. There we are. Oh, and I disappeared. Unreal. Wait, where am I?
I see you.
You see me? I can see the stream doesn't see me. This is crazy.
Oh, really? I think
you're on the
screen right now. I'm on the air, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you're taking over.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well,
there I am. There's just a nice brick right in the middle. Ray audio doubled. Boom. Let's try that. How's that? Say something, Ray.
I think this is better.
I think that's on my end.
Sorry, it was my end. I had Safari feeding back to itself, so we're better now. Yeah. I think we're good now.
All right. Let's see. Ray, I want to talk to you about what might be coming, but I'm trying to get rid of this silly black bar right in the middle. I don't know. It's so wonky. I don't know why that's there.
You have to probably remove. You can remove me from the screen and then remove the other person or whatever, the guest, and then add me back in, like the.
There we go. All right. Yeah. Ray, thanks for the tip to use Ecamm. It's really good. I'm still getting familiar with it though. There's definitely a learning curve there.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
Is there still an echo, everybody? Can you still hear an echo? Especially on Ray. Ray, say a few things.
That's 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, Rekka. Okay. That's on my end. I'll turn it off. There, it should be better now.
Yo.
So the thing that I haven't been able to solve, and this has nothing to do with AI, but Ray, maybe this is something you can help with. I don't know how to pipe desktop audio into Ecamm. I'm using Black Hole 2 channel, and that's what's causing the double, the reverb. Reverb is still there.
Oh, in the sound levels, there's like interview guests, and you'll see audio coming in there.
Yeah.
And then you'll see me kind of going in there. And so like if you're piping the audio in, it's probably taking the audio from that. Like if you mute the interview guest there and you have like a main.
No, that muted you.
Okay. Chilling. Okay.
Interesting.
Test. It's fine now. Okay.
Cool. Oh, it's fine now. All right. All good. Okay, cool. Good. Maybe chat's just a little bit delayed. All right. Well, what do you think? What's on your mind lately? Did you see the latest
newsroom posts? They posted this saying making ChatGPT better for clinicians.
I did not see that. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I'll send you in the guest chat. This is the link that they put up on one of the tweets. It's so people are like feeling they got blue balled.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm still getting so familiar with this. Okay, I got your link. Is this the announcement? I think that's making ChatGPT better. Yeah, but this is yesterday though. To be fair, This came out last night, and like if you look at where is he, Mr. Sam Altman. I mean, he more or less confirmed it's coming out today.
And then Trevor Krish actually quoted the potato. Did you see that?
Oh my god. Bam. Oh my god. Come on. All right. Sorry for the audio, everybody. I don't know why it keeps doubling. It keeps unchecking the mute button on Black Hole. So hopefully it's fixed now. Use AI to fix the echo. There is no AI good enough to fix my problems with Ecamm. Okay. Yeah, man. It seems inevitable that it's coming, right? Also, look at everybody's live stream right now. On the right side of Twitter, it's all GPT 5.5, and we have 5.5 from Alex. Ryan Carson doesn't say anything, but Crazy Day. Yam 5.5. Weights and biases, nothing. Yeah, so I guess we just gotta wait.
Hopefully it's just not a Wi-Fi issue. I think they gotta reboot their routers over there at the office, you know?
Yeah, there it is. NS, yep. Import bait, yep. Output 5.5. Come on.
Nothing?
I
Nothing
love
yet?
it. I love the vague posting though. It's so good. All right, we're just gonna look around Twitter, see what's going on in the
So
meantime.
do you think it's gonna take over Opus 4.7? I mean, if you have to like silly wild guess, because a lot of people are complaining right now about Opus 4.7.
A lot of people are. I'm still a fan. I think 4.6 is still my favorite model, especially when you turn on fast mode. I just really enjoy it, and being able to iterate through your project at 5x the speed of what GPT is capable of, it's quite meaningful. So if GPT gets things right at twice the rate of Opus 4.6, which isn't the case, right? Maybe it gets it right a little bit more often in hard bugs or back end, but the fact that 4.6 is so much faster allows me to just iterate and fix those bugs much more quickly. I feel like I'm still alone. I'm still in the minority on being a speed maxi. What do you think, Ray?
I like the speed, and it's addicting because once you start building pretty fast, I think iteration cycle goes really crazy, and it's kind of one of my favorite parts of like Opus 4.6 fast. It's like being able to do data analysis, especially like taxes, is really enjoyable. But on a side note, I'm thinking about OpenClaw. How much fine tuning that you think they've been able to do for letting tool calls do their things and behave a lot better and maybe respond better for OpenClaw? Because I know you're a pretty heavy user of OpenClaw as well.
Yeah, I am. And I think like if they are to drop a new model soon, I'm guessing they've actually spent more time on the personality. I hope they spent time on that. It feels like 5.4 should have good tool calling, and
I'm curious to see what their GPU access is right now. Like, does OpenAI actually have the most access to GPUs and being able to serve inference and stuff?
They have much better access to GPUs. That was the premise of my entire video yesterday. Anthropic is struggling. It's struggling under the weight of
that output wasn't as much as I liked it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. And so to that note, Cursor and SpaceX, I'm just curious about your thought there too, because that's an interesting one with like access to GPUs, right? I mean, I think the Cursor folks had said that like, yeah, we want the Colossus, give us the Colossus stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. They didn't mention it on this Cursor. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. I think it's actually. Did they not mention it? Oh, here we go. We're partnering with SpaceX to improve Cursor. It makes a ton of sense. So basically, Elon and company built out an incredible data center, 100,000 GPUs. Now they're like well on their way to 1 million GPUs. they've already built it, they've already paid for it, but it turns out they couldn't actually build a model with enough capability to build the demand necessary to use it. So they have all this unused GPU capacity. Then you have Cursor, who they don't really make their own frontier model. I mean, they probably know how, and they certainly are sitting on top of one of the most valuable data sets in history. And so they're looking at each other and they're like, oh, well, you have a great brand, you being Cursor. You have incredible data. You have built Composer 1.5 and 2, and they're good models. They're not frontier, but they're good workhorse models. Like, you obviously know how to do it, and with the combined expertise between both teams, you know how to do it, and you have that data, but you don't have compute. So let's join forces, and I think it makes a ton of sense. And then the only weird thing is like the option to acquire the company for 60 billion towards the end of the year. And if they don't acquire it, they have to pay 10 billion. It just seems like a win-win for Cursor, but it felt a little weird. Like, why not just go ahead and acquire them? What are you waiting on?
I kind of like Elon's approach, to
Nicholas,
be
thank
honest.
you, by
It's
the
like
way.
you got
Thanks
to
for the
earn
super
it, right?
chat.
I think it says to the market that, like, hey, like, I put an engagement ring on it. I put a ring on it, right? Like, it's like, right? It's just like, okay, like, she's walking around with the ring, but I mean, she still's got options, but for the most part,
Yeah.
and so, and Andrew and the folks who went over from Cursor, like leading up the SpaceX stuff. I mean, they're product people and they know what they're doing. They're incredible. I mean, everyone there is incredibly talented on both sides. And the culture, having been around inside of Cursor's offices many times, people are working around the clock nonstop, and it's not that anyone's forcing them to. It's just pure passion and pure drive,
Yeah.
and you see that from people that are working on Elon's team too. And Elon's definitely really, really driving that down to the nail, to every little bit in detail, and in their X offices and stuff like that. And uh, these people are like uh, giving everything they got for this thing, and it's a good synergy. And I think paying 10 billion, I think the IP that you'll get out of it, especially since it's it can be compounding. I mean, he must see 10x return easily on that um, investment
Yeah.
himself.
I'm wondering, I think, yeah. So we both know Cursor quite well, Ray. We got to hang out briefly at the Cursor offices. They have a small team. Like, relatively speaking, it's still a very small team. Do you know how many people they have? It's like a couple hundred.
Yeah, I don't know what the public numbers are, but I remember the early days, like several years ago, back in the days, 2 years ago, 14 years ago in AI. It was just like 10 guys, and like, there was only two guys working on what is today called the agent, like the it was Composer back then, and it's just like, just sitting down, and they did all the work, and I think they rewrote everything, again. So it's like, all these little acqui-hires and stuff are still tiny teams. It's still, 1 to 2 person type of teams doing a lot of work there. And um, I, you can walk around to everyone and just talk to them about the entire app, just like in one
Yeah.
day. It's it's wild.
Yeah. I mean, it is a good team, and we both know Edwin, who came from OpenAI, went over to Cursor. They have good folks over there, and they treat us creators well, right? I mean, it's and they just happen to have a phenomenal product. Like, that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I think the other thing that surprised me is that I've been very critical with them at times too, and they take my feedback extremely seriously, which has been refreshing. Not a lot of companies like to do that. Sometimes they'll push you away, and so I always like the companies who've been able to make time for us. And this is also an interesting thing as far as OpenAI too. Like, they are always very open to public criticism, and they take it very seriously, and they want to continue to improve their products, which is always really refreshing. And sometimes some creators have also noticed that their same sentiment's not done on the other side with Anthropic. And people, like, it's kind of hard because Anthropic has so many arrows on its back with a lot of people saying things. So I could see it the other way too, where having been on the other side of things, when the people like make a lot of criticisms, you're trying to sort out, is it a criticism? what specific product, you're actually trying to really improve the product. And, it's just really hard to sort through all the noise. But,
Yeah,
culturally speaking, I think being online and being on X is kind of where all the buzz is happening.
yeah, and it's like Claude and Anthropic put themselves on a pedestal. Look, I like to be super positive. I like to be
Yeah.
optimistic. I don't like speaking negatively about companies, but it's Anthropic makes it difficult, right? Because
And it's all fixable, I
they're
feel like,
yeah, of course it's fixable, but it's like it's also helping them. They treat everybody like they don't need you, and then they like put out a tweet about some like random feature launch, and it gets 4 million views in an hour. So like they're
It's
doing
crazy.
something, they're doing something really well, but it doesn't always feel great. I want to be wanted, Ray.
Yeah, I'm at the end of the day, just like you, I feel like also on top of that, I want to also just have a really good model, have it be accessible, actually be able to use it and get work done. And I think, whoever can deliver that consistently always wins my dollar at the end of the day. So that's also like kind of where my money's headed. I love all
That's
these
right.
posts that are just scrolling in about like people. I think maybe this is a new strategy probably for OpenAI where like maybe they're just trying to see, okay, is who's going to blink first? Is Google going to drop a model accidentally first before OpenAI does? Is Anthropic going to try to drop something? Because there's so many posts and so much attention. Even us talking about it is kind of revving up this whole anticipation for this spud model, right? This potato dot
I mean, look at
potato
this.
model.
Come
Yeah.
on. All right. Any final words, Ray? Where should people check you out at?
They can check me out on X, Ray Fernando 1337, and that's the same handle that you can use on YouTube as well. I'll be doing some AI live streaming and be covering lots of things. It's your favorite live streamer here. I go live and check this stuff out every Tuesdays and Thursdays, so be sure to check that out. And Matt, thank you so much for having me on the show, and excited about the work that you're doing and everyone who's been able to support this whole movement with Forward Future and everything you guys got going on there in the AI
Thanks,
space.
Ray. And I really enjoy when you do your streams from the offices of different companies. I just wanted to tell you that. I really like that.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, man.
All
Awesome.
right,
I'll
Ray.
catch you
See
later,
you
bro.
later. All right. Let's see. All right. So let's see if anything is happening. Theo just taking jabs at Anthropic as he does. Open Yuchen Jin, friend of the channel. OpenAI plan to launch Spud, but their Wi-Fi broke, so they're asking Claude, the on-call engineer, to fix it. Let's see. Yeah, Theo is going hard. That is true. Lord Khaki says no Spud today, my friend. I guess we'll see. I'm just refreshing. Where would it be posted? ChatGPT? Oh, we haven't. It's here in chat. Is it here? Oh, let's see. Introducing GPT 5.5. Let's see. It's here. Let's go. We got it. All right. GPT 5.5 is here, and I'm going to make a post. I have to share that I have actually had early access to it. it's a good model. We're going to talk all about it. I can finally talk about it. Sorry, I know I was basically just faking the whole last 30 minutes, but it's exciting. So let me do something. I'm going to post something on X real quick. Bam, I just posted my review. This is a short review. We're going to be going into depth on it. Don't you? I'm sorry. I know. Some of you probably knew I knew. Look, the model was coming. We all knew it. Everybody was confirming it. Sam Altman was confirming it. Here we go. I have no poker face, by the way. This is why I lose at poker all the time, because I can't keep secrets. Let's see. This is a good one. That is why you've been hating on Anthropic lately. No, they've just genuinely been annoying the hell out of me. All right. Should I just get right into it, guys? So I've had it for 2 weeks. It is a great model. It is a fantastic model. It does things better than 5.4. They made a lot of improvements on the things that 5.4 were weak at, or was weak at. It should be in Codex. It's coming out in 2 flavors, or two surfaces. One Codex, 2 ChatGPT Pro. The Pro is insane. Let's actually just switch over here and take a look. Let me see 1 second. I think I'm just gonna start recording. So I'm gonna also record a video while we do this. You feel the chart truth. You fooled me. All right, here we go. All right, so, oh, that's not it. I don't want to talk about that. GPT 5.5 is here. It is their new frontier model. It is coming out in Codex and ChatGPT Pro, and yes, it is an incredible model. All right, I'm gonna just do. Let's review it together. So we're releasing GPT 5.5, our smartest and most intuitive to use model yet, and the next step toward a new way of getting work done on a computer. Now, I've been using it for 2 weeks. I've been thoroughly testing it on my own code bases, on fresh code bases. I've used it in ChatGPT Pro, and it is a very, very good model. It fixes a lot of the issues that GPT 5.4 had. Specifically, it is better. Specifically, it has a better personality, and I think that is in response to how difficult and soulless it was to use GPT 5.4 in OpenClaw. So that's something to note. All right, let's see what else is here. All right, so a lot of this is just kind of marketing fluff. I mean, it's all true, but it's the stuff they say in every single blog post. So here is where it really matters. The gains are especially strong. 1 second. Okay. The gains are especially strong in agentic coding, computer use, knowledge work, and early scientific research. This is where it obviously matters. This is where the money is. This is where Anthropic showed us that you can grow incredibly fast revenue, really like doubling and doubling and doubling all the way up to $30 billion annual run rate right now, with a hyper focus on enterprise coding. And OpenAI got the message. They are now focused on coding, and this is the result. They are starting to put out more models that are just better and better at agentic coding, because the flywheel is just incredible. You build a coding model, you sell it to enterprise and make a bunch of money, you collect all of that incredible coding data, make the model better, and then use that model to train your next model. It is the self-improving flywheel of artificial intelligence. Okay? GPT 5.5 delivers this step up in intelligence without compromising on speed. Larger, more capable models are often slower to serve, but GPT 5.5 matches GPT 5.4 token latency in real world serving while performing at a much higher level of intelligence. So this is something that I know they spent a lot of time on, and I noticed a few things. One, you get the same level of intelligence as GPT 5.4 in far fewer tokens. It is just more token efficient overall. Now, that is counterbalanced by the fact that it is a more expensive model. But when it all, what's the right way to say this? Like when it all balances out, you're paying less overall, and that's the key. And then also there's a higher ceiling on the total intelligence you can get out of a GPT 5.5 model. So more efficient per token, which is really good. More expensive per token, but more efficient as well. All right, let's see what else. It also uses significantly fewer tokens to complete the same codex tasks, making it more efficient as well as more capable. And yes, I noticed this. It was very clear, not only in the amount of thinking tokens it was using, but also just how it explained things to me, which, you know, when I'm coding, and I'm vibe coding especially, when it gives me an essay to explain one little change that I've made or that it has made, it's frustrating. I don't want that. It's too much. It's too much to read. And I always have to say, hey, explain that simply and explain that in short. And it always does after that. But now you don't really have to do that. It explains it in a really concise way. And that's also part of the personality improvement that I mentioned, right? If GPT 5.4 is explaining something to you in a very rigid, very formal essay, and then 5.5 is like, here, let me give you exactly what you need. That is an improvement in the personality, the tone of the messages that you're receiving from 5.5. And by the way, I did put out my written... Here, I'll pin it to my profile. So if you're on X, I put out my written review, so you can check that out if you're into reading it. And yeah, we've been using it for 2 weeks as a team, and it's been a lot of fun. Also, by the way, we are now streaming to Twitch, which is brand new. So go follow us on Twitch if you like that. And we opened up our Discord again. We had it a while ago. We had like 6,000 people pretty active in there for a while, but it was just too unwieldy to manage. And now we have Brian on the team who is, according to him, too much of an expert at Discord. So we opened it back up. Go check us out on Discord. We'll drop the link. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for dropping the link in there. Go join us in Discord. I'm going to be active in there. We're going to share when we're going live. We're going to share when I post videos, and just we're trying to build a more close-knit community. That is one of our main objectives going forward through the rest of this year. So please join us. All right, let's get back to this. So we're releasing 5.5 with our strongest set of safeguards to date, designed to reduce misuse while preserving access to for beneficial work. Okay. 5.5 is rolling out to Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise users in ChatGPT and Codex, and GPT 5.5 Pro is rolling out to Pro, Business, and Enterprise users in ChatGPT. 5.5 Pro is kind of insane. By the way, we're going to be doing testing later in this stream. Drop your tests in chat, okay? I feel dumb. I cannot come up with tests that are both difficult enough that we really know that 5.5 Pro is doing something incredible, but also verifiable. Like simple enough, or at least explainable enough, verifiable enough to know that it is actually answering it correctly. So if you have a really good prompt, we'll test it later today. Use it, man. Stop yapping guru facts. All right. Hey, we're getting to that. We're getting to that. Let's look at the benchmarks. I like looking at benchmarks. We have GPT 5.5, 5.4. We have 5.5 Pro right here versus 5.4 Pro. Here's where it matters. finally, they also list competitor models. We have Opus 4.7 and GPT 3.1 Pro. Really, the only one that matters is Opus 4.7. So, terminal bench. This is agentic usage. Look at the difference there. So, we have a 7-point jump from 5.4 to 5.5. And yeah, Alex just reminded me, by the way, your prompt, if you give us a great prompt that we end up using and testing in this video, you might end up in the YouTube video and we will give you a shout out. So drop your prompts, Alex and Brian, if you can just star them or favorite them so I can keep track of them, or just like track it somewhere, that'd be great. And of course, I'm super thirsty all of a sudden. I might have to go get water in a bit. Okay. Let's keep going. So this was a massive jump from 5.4 and just completely dominating Opus 4.7 on terminal bench. This is the model's ability to go into terminal and operate terminal, CLI, right? This is really important for agentic usage. This is also really important for tool calling. We have Expert SWE internal. I don't actually know what Expert SWE is. Maybe, I guess it's obviously an internal benchmark. 73 as compared to 68. They don't have the other competitors. Fine. GDP val. This is a benchmark that Tagel, I think it's Tagel. This is a benchmark that the OpenAI team has created. This is testing real world usage, actual valuable knowledge work usage for the model. And it's a little bit better. We have a 1.9% improvement from GPT 5.4. Here's 5.5 Pro, interestingly enough, is actually a decrease. Here's Claude 4.7, Claude Opus 4.7 at 80.3. Okay. OS World Verified. This is the model's ability to do computer control, browser control. They basically give the model an environment and let it control a computer. And we can see it's an improvement, not a huge one, 3.7%, on par with Opus 4.7. I have to be honest, I don't do a lot of browser control. I don't do a lot of computer control. I just find it to be excruciatingly slow, and it's just not a use case that I need now. If things can be controlled through the CLI, they should be. I don't want point and click for my agent. It is slow and prone to errors. So please, everything should have a CLI. Everything should have an API. That's the way to go. That's how to get the most out of agents. That's what I want. It's also fast. Okay, so do that. If you're building stuff, do that. Browse comp, another browser control. Looks like 5.5 Pro. Look at that. Actually, I think browse comp, right? Browse comp is computer control. It's funny that I'm using Claude to check this. Web browsing, sorry, not browser control. Okay, let me say that again. So we have Browse Comp, which is a web browsing benchmark. GPT 5.5 coming in at 84.4. That would make sense why GPT 5.5 Pro, which is the model within a harness that is specifically built for research and very difficult problems, would be so good at this benchmark in particular, in web browsing. Mad Dog. Teach me how to move all my Claude Skills plugins to Codex. Okay. Very close. Second, GPT 5.4 Pro. So not a huge improvement there. At Claude Opus 4.7 down at 80%, 79%. We have Frontier Math. Let's see. It got the #1 score on 5.5 and specifically 5.5 Pro. Frontier Math Tier 2, same thing. Yeah, look, Pro is for the hard problems. GPT 5.5 and Codex is for coding. That's how you got to think about it. But what we're seeing here is, compared to Opus 4.7, it is much better. Here is the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, which is a bunch of different benchmarks indexed and shown here. So what we're seeing is two things. Across the y-axis, we have the actual score, and across the x-axis, we have the output tokens. What you are looking for is higher is better, and left is better. Smaller is better across the output tokens. And what that means is you're getting more efficiency per token, more intelligence per token. And so 5.5, higher and more left. That is what we're looking for here, okay? CJ the Creative. Oof, I didn't know we were streaming. You joined a stream. Minima, not in Codex nor in web chat. Where is it? Just came out a few minutes ago. If you don't see it, you'll see it soon. But you do need, either I think a ChatGPT Plus or Pro or Enterprise account. So just if you don't see it yet, just keep waiting. You'll see it. Okay, same thing here. I think a big thing that they did, and what I noticed, is that it is very token efficient. And so although it is more expensive, which I mentioned earlier, and I'll show you the prices in a second, it is also more token efficient, and more token efficient enough to offset the increase in price. All right. So that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing higher intelligence. So the light blue line is 5.5. The darker blue line is 5.4. We are seeing higher intelligence nearly across the board, except for right here on this one, but much cheaper. So let's look. For this score, so this is one of their scores on Terminal Bench. I think this is probably lowest effort. It got a 34.2 on GPT-5.4 with basically 4950 output tokens. Over here, we got 39.1 with 2165 output tokens. Significantly more efficient, significantly more intelligence per token. I love that they're focusing on this now. Yeah, Andrea, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Oftentimes it takes time to roll out to everybody. Yeah, it's not like a switch they flip. It'll take time. You'll get it soon. Okay, same thing here. Expert Suite, we're just seeing it much more token efficient, and you also get a higher intelligence index out of it. All right, let's look at, so we actually did some testing. Let's look at some of the demos they put together. This is the render trajectory uses NASA JPL Horizons Vector. Prompt, attached image. Implement this as a new app using WebGL and Vite. I think, is it Vite or Vitae? I'm going to say Vite for now. Using real data from the Artemis 2 mission. Make sure to test the app thoroughly until it's fully, okay, I want to come back to that, fully functional and looks like the app in the picture. Pay close attention. Pay close attention to the rendering of the planets and fly past. Now, I want to stop on this for a second. Make sure to test the app thoroughly until it is fully functional. Why is that so important? One thing that they improved greatly with 5.5 is its ability to, how did I say this earlier? Jonah, let me see. Visual inspection. Okay. Yeah. So like one thing that it's obviously a lot better at is visual inspection. You give it a prompt in Codex, you let it build something, and it will just continue to look at the thing until it gets it right. And I have a few examples that we'll show you in a minute, but it does that better than any other model. And it's able to actually see what's on the page and iterate and continue to improve what's on the page better than any other model, including Opus 4.7. So that in itself is extremely impressive and just allows the agent or GPT 5.5 in Codex to act much more autonomously. It's able to complete projects much more autonomously without me having to say, oh, that button is actually in the wrong place. It will just go do that for me. Yeah, thanks everybody. Keep throwing your let's see. Dave Wilson, thank you for the super chat. Hello everybody. My favorite test has always been to get a model to write a hello world in white space language. Just remember, if it fails, it'll eat tokens like crazy. I don't know what a white space language is. I'm going to have to look that up. So yeah, keep throwing your prompts in there. Anything you want me to test with GPT 5.5, drop it in there. And if we end up using it, and if we end up including it, there's a chance you might be mentioned in the video. Okay, so this is, yeah, very cool. Looks good, looks very complete. Earthquake tracker. Okay, kind of a more simple website. I mean, you know, to be honest, I'm not all that impressed with this. I think another thing that they did to improve 5.5, at least the front end design, is not use a lot of pills, don't use a lot of boxes. And it's clear here they kind of, it improved it a little bit, but look, being able to create a portfolio website or a chart website, this has all been done. So I'm not overly impressed with this. Dungeon game. This, on the other hand, is really impressive. This kind of reminds me of Dungeon Keeper. Do you guys remember that game way back? That was one of my favorite games. I hope I'm saying the name right, or I hope I'm remembering the name correctly. Is it Dungeon Keeper, chat? Do you know? The one where you got to like smack around the little imps. Kevin must play. What's the best use case for GPT 5.5? Thanks for the super chat. It depends. You have two options to use it. You can use it in Codex, and it's just a phenomenal coder, or you can use it in ChatGPT Pro, and that's for hardcore research, frontier math, frontier science, cryptography, like all that kind of stuff. The stuff that is very difficult for me to verify if it's right or wrong. All right, so this game looks very impressive. A full 3D hack and slash game. Seems to work really well. The animation of the actual knight is pretty good, but you know what? It actually works. And yeah, the visuals look really good. You can actually see the lighting looks really good. You can see shadows. The logic, there's actual logic. So when you're hitting these little imp guys, these little goblins, they actually have life. And as you're hitting them, their life gets reduced. So yeah, very cool. Okay, let's look at the last one. 3D game. Tank down. So we've seen stuff like this. Let's see if it is actually more impressive. Yeah, it's okay. I've seen stuff like this. Not overly impressed with it. All right, let's keep going. All right, beyond benchmarks, early testers, hey, that would be me and a bunch of other folks, said GPT 5.5 shows a stronger ability to understand the shape of a system, why something is failing, where the fix needs to land, and what else in the code base would be affected. This is actually something that I gave them in particular. Some feedback I gave them in particular. What I noticed about GPT 5.5 is that it can see around corners almost. I told it a problem I had in my production website, and I didn't give it access to the production database so it could actually look at the logs, look at the errors, look at the real production data, but I just roughly described what the issue was, and it knew how to fix it. And Opus 4.6 and 4.7 did not. It was very impressive. So it has this almost intuition about how the app should be operating in a production environment that I haven't seen elsewhere. It was really impressive. All right, we have Dan Shipper. First coding model I've used that has serious conceptual clarity. Yep. Okay. Senior engineers who tested the model said GPT 5.5 was noticeably stronger than GPT 5.4 and Claude Opus 4.7 at reasoning and autonomy. I would say that's the case for 5.4. I'm still early in my Opus 4.7 testing, but I don't know if it was noticeably stronger in autonomy. I mean, really, that's a function of the harness, and Claude Code is a fantastic harness. Codex is a fantastic harness. These things are very autonomous to begin with. So it obviously it is a function also of the model, but I would even say more so of the harness. Yeah, and by the way, if you're watching this, please click the like button, follow, share the stream, help us push it further. I really like doing streams, and I want more people to watch it, so please do that. And thanks, Brian, for bringing that up. Appreciate that. Um, and again, we're relaunched our Discord, so Brian will drop our Discord link in chat. You can go check that out. All right, this might be a little too far. One engineer at NVIDIA who had early access to the model went as far as to say, losing access to GPT 5.5 feels like I've had a limb amputated. All right, it's a little bit cringe. Let's see. The same strengths that make GPT 5.5 great at coding also make it powerful for everyday work on a computer. Yes, that is true. So it can move more naturally through the full loop of knowledge work, finding information, understanding what matters, using tools, checking the output, and turning raw material into something useful. I'm going to go grab a sip of water. I'll be right back. All right. So GPT 5.5 is better than GPT 5.4 at generating documents, spreadsheets, and slide presentations. Yes, this is true. Jonas specifically gave GPT 5.5 within ChatGPT Pro very like wide-ranging and thorough documents to create, and he said it had no problem creating 60-page coherent, well-designed documents. So, excuse me. So in the ability to actually create real world knowledge work documents, it's very good. Today, more than 85% of the company uses Codex every week. Why is it not 100%? What role in the company could possibly not benefit from using their own models? In comms, the team uses 5.5 and Codex to analyze 6 months of speaking request data. Oh my God, that's like 80% me asking to interview Sam Altman right there. Build a scoring and risk framework and validate an automated Slack agent so low risk requests could be handled automatically while higher risk requests still route to human review. Okay. Yeah, and by the way, I was just talking to my friend who's here visiting me. He works for an accounting firm, and they're not using any AI with Excel. And I just it was wild to hear that, and I forced him to open his laptop and install Claude for Excel, and like just it just seems like there are so many companies out there who don't know what's happening right now, and hopefully, if you know somebody like that, send them one of my videos. Hopefully it'll help them. I just want the whole world to benefit from this stuff. It's so exciting to be able to do so much more, to be so much more productive. That's really our mission here. All right, testing the onboarding flow. Use browser use. Okay, so yeah, again, its ability to kind of identify visual elements on a page and understand and do visual reasoning is very strong with 5.5. All right, in ChatGPT 5.5, thinking unlocks faster help for harder problems with smarter and more concise answers to help you move through complex work more efficiently. So a few things here. There are multiple thinking settings. What I noticed is when you go to the extra high setting, it is so slow. It takes forever and it thinks forever. There's really nothing I'm doing, no use case that I have that requires that level of thinking, right? So high, medium, and high seem to be the perfect balance of speed and thinking, at least for me. So try it out. See what works best for you. The concise answers is also really important. I am so sick of being sent an essay by the model and me having to say, no, explain it simply. I'm lazy. I don't want to read that whole thing. And then it does. And it's just so much easier. Humans are really the bottleneck for artificial intelligence at this point. My ability to read their feedback is the thing that is holding all of my projects back, or is the bottleneck overall. Apretzthus, extra high is my default on my hard code bases. I would love to know why. I don't agree. Obviously, you probably have more sophisticated code bases, more complex code bases than me. But like high is more than enough. In fact, even in Claude, even with Opus, I'm not using the top max thinking all the time. Often, but not all the time. And specifically with GPT 5.4, 5.5, I'm almost never using extra high thinking. Yeah, here's GDP val, OS World Verified, a bunch of quotes, scientific research. This is really where we're gonna see good improvements. I think that it's just like the ceiling of 5.5 feels a lot higher than the ceiling of 5.4. That's what it is. Plus, if you're like comparing apples to apples, you get a lot more out of 5.5, but at a cheaper price because the token efficiency is so much higher. That's the thing to keep in mind. This is Spud. Yes, dishwasher 69. This is Spud. All right, Bix Bench. I've never heard of this. Bioinformatics and data analysis. Great. Oh, look at this. An internal version of GPT 5.5 with a custom harness helped discover a new proof about Ramsey numbers. And they link to it here. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. I'm never going to be able to personally verify that this is right or wrong. So if these are the problems in which 5.5 really shows how good it is, but how am I ever supposed to know how to use this or how to verify it? Yeah, early testers use 5.5 Pro and ChatGPT less like a one-shot answer engine and more like a research partner, critiquing manuscripts over multiple passes, stress testing technical arguments, proposing analyses, and working with code notes and PDF context. This is it. This is like very much about the personality, the tone of the model when it's talking to you. It is much shorter, not shorter in that it's like has a short temper, but shorter as in it doesn't tell you every single thing it's thinking. And it's kind of a double-edged sword. You don't get as much insight into its thinking process, but at the same time, I don't really care. I just want to know kind of generally what you're thinking, what it is thinking, and then explain my prompt or give me an answer to my prompt in the shortest possible way where you're still conveying all the correct information to me. Okay. SNTS Andre says, is 5.5 cheaper than 5.4? No, it's more expensive. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But if you compare 5.4 to 5.5, again, like I've been saying, the 5.5 token efficiency makes it cheaper to reach the same level of intelligence than 5.4. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Oh, shout out to Daria. Got a quote. Friend of the channel. All right. Let's talk a little bit about that token efficiency. So this is, I don't think people are going to understand how important this is because the intelligence is improving, but the cost per intelligence is actually decreasing. And this is good for most people. Now, if you are trying to research frontier science, frontier math problems, the hardest coding problems in the world, you need the highest ceiling of intelligence. And that is what 5.5 gives you. But for everyday users like me, I just want an incredible coding model. I want it to be as cheap as possible and as fast as possible. And that's where token efficiency comes in. That's why it's so valuable, because the same thing I was getting with 5.4 is now cheaper and it's more concise. I really like that. Serving 5.5 at 5.4 latency required rethinking inference as an integrated system. 5.5 was co-designed for, trained with, and served using GB200s and GB300 NVLink 72 systems. And remember we talked about self-improving artificial intelligence? Codex and GPT-5.5 were instrumental in how we achieved our performance targets. Codex helped the team move faster from idea to benchmarkable implementation, sketching approaches, wiring experiments, and helping identify which optimizations were worth deeper investment. Increasing token generation speeds by over 20%. Great. It did seem faster during testing, but they did tell me that this speed that I was experiencing during testing is not representative of what it's going to be post-launch. So I still have to test it. I literally haven't tested it post-launch, so we'll see. Oh, advancing cybersecurity for everyone's safety. This is almost certainly going to be a dig at Mythos. Preparing the world for models that are very good at finding and patching security vulnerabilities is a team sport and will require the entire ecosystem to work hard to build resilience. Democratized model access and iterative deployment. This is a direct shot at Anthropic. And Sam Altman and Greg Brockman just did a podcast in which he called Anthropic's approach fear-based marketing. And I thought that was just so on the nose. And so rather than saying, we have this incredible model, we're not going to give it to you because it's too good, but by the way, we're going to sell it to every enterprise company so they can harden their systems before we give you that model. No, they said, no, we're going to give it to everybody and we're going to iteratively deploy it. We're going to put it out early and often and communicate it as often as we can. So that's their approach. And whether this is a response to Anthropic's approach or they genuinely believe it or this is just Sam Altman seizing the moment, we'll never know. But really, all that matters is what is actually happening. Producer Brian coming in with the conspiracies. Sam Altman, Greg Brockman. Is there a pattern here? They are both men. Good find. That's crazy. I put it on screen. You got to be careful. I'll put anything on screen. All right. Frontier models are becoming increasingly more capable in cybersecurity. Those capabilities will become broadly distributed, and we believe the best path forward is to make sure they can be put to use for accelerating cyber defense and strengthening the ecosystem. By the way, Alex, you don't need to like include in the video me reading this entire thing. Industry-leading safeguards. We're expanding access to accelerate cyber defense at every level, working with government partners. All right, let's see. All right, let's talk about availability and pricing now. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's keep going. So, yeah, so it's rolling out it's rolling out on Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise. Comes in really two forms: Codex, so if you're using the Codex app, and GPT 5.5 Pro. All right, in Codex, GPT 5.5, okay, fine. 400K context window. And it is available in fast mode, which is great, generating tokens 1.5x faster for 2.5x the cost. Okay. GPT 5.5. Oh, right. One thing that they mentioned in our little pre-access group is that 5.5 will not be available via the API yet. It will be very soon, but not quite yet. So for API developers, will soon be available. $5 per million input, $30 per million output, million token context window. Let's look at the pricing page. Right. So it is, how did that compare? So 250 and 15 versus, yeah, so it's double the price, right? Am I reading this right, chat? It's double the price. So $5 per million input tokens, $30 per million output tokens versus half that rate for 5.4. That is expensive, yes. However, you should notice the token efficiency, the intelligence per token efficiency improvement, and it should offset that price at least somewhat. Now, when you mix in batch pricing, caching, flex pricing, controlling the thinking token budget, you don't, for most use cases, need extra high thinking. Again, we're talking about the ceiling of what's possible in this model. You don't need the ceiling for 99% of use cases. So it's not, the effective pricing is not really going to be 5 and 30. All right, who's sick of me talking about this? Should we test? So we talked about that. We talked about the numbers. Let's take a look. Let's test it. So I want to show you some tests first. Let's see. Jonah, what's the best way to show this off? Brian, I for one wish we would just read all stream. If you agree with him, drop a thumbs up. And if you don't, drop a thumbs down. Here we go. All right. So Jonah ran some tests, and this was incredibly impressive. We've done second video link. Okay, I'm on it. So let me show you some of the tests that we've actually been running internally over the last 2 weeks. This is a recording. We're going to watch it together. And basically what we found is if you look at ChatGPT Pro and ask it to write code, it's pretty good, but it's far from perfect. And specifically on creating this kind of 3D voxel little environment, little world, it didn't complete it all that well. But when you put the power of 5.5 into Codex and you actually have a coding harness that's able to look at the output and then iterate on it. We talked a lot about that. Look at the output, iterate on it. It does much better. Okay. So this is a little 3D world. I kind of wish, Jonah, can you send me a share link for this in ChatGPT so I can actually take a look at it? Okay, so this is... yes. Okay, give me a minute. I'm going to end the recording. I need to upload it. Give me a minute, y'all. GPT-5.5. I'm just uploading the video so Alex can get started on it. So just give me one moment, everybody. And we'll get back to the stream. All right, now I'm restarting. Click. All right, we have restarted. It is now uploading. It should be done in 4 minutes. Okay. Right, it's Codex. Okay. Yeah, so I thought this was just very impressive. This is something that I've struggled to build in the past. Use Kimi K 2.6. It's uncensored. I don't have a lot of uses for uncensored models. I have to be honest. Like there's not a lot of questions where I'm like, boy, I wish this model would tell me something that it's not. More often than not, I'm finding that it's refusing things because of the policies and too aggressive policies, especially with Opus, and then they just roll that back and they kind of loosen it. So that I'm not really all that concerned with uncensoredness of a model. And to be honest, Kimi's censored in other ways. It just depends. You know, the nice thing about open source models is, of course, you can uncensor them any which way you want. So the difference between China censoring a model and the US censoring a model is very different. With open source, you get to choose what you want. All right, I think I need to update Codex. All right. We do have 5.5. Okay, let me share. Let's see if I can share codecs easily here. Let's do some testing. All right. There we go. We have codecs open. I just updated. We have GPT 5.5 high, not extra high, high. And I want the fast speed. Okay. What should we test? What's the first thing we should test? Let's see. Dave Wilson, write hello world in white space language. What does that actually mean? All right, Alex, thank you. He's been collecting some of your prompts. We can test some of that out. Okay. Is this all I have to write here? I don't know, let's just see what happens. Chat is too small on YouTube chat. Oh, interesting. I don't know. Did this solve it? How do I even know? If you give me a prompt, tell me how to also figure out if it worked or not. Okay, yeah, I like that washing my car thing. Let's do that. I'm gonna put that to the test. This is something that other models have gotten wrong over and over again. It's one of those I don't know, what do you call it? Brain teasers. Okay, so let's try this. We have Pro should be 5.5, right? Okay, so let's say the car wash. All right, hold on. Let me make sure it's on screen. There, that's good. That's okay though, right? I think it's okay cut off. I think it's fine because, yeah, what I need is right there. Okay. Okay, so let's try it. So I want to wash my car. The car wash is 100 feet away. Should I walk or drive? All right, so this is Pro. I don't think I need to extended thinking it. And it should be 5.5. Let's go. There we go. This is AGI. We have reached AGI. Why does it keep doing that? There we go. Yeah, drive. The car needs to get to the car wash too. Only thought for 11 seconds. And of course, we get no insight into its thinking tokens. My camera's lagging. I see. Okay, let's see if it's still happening. Yes, it is. Very bad. Okay, let's just give it a moment. Hopefully it'll speed up in a sec. I'm not uploading, so I don't know why it would be lagging. Oof. How do I fix this? Maybe I'll turn off the virtual camera for a second, turn it back on. Nope, that's not it. All right, let's see. Ecamm is... Can you tell me, is it just my camera that's lagging? How do I even show that? Physical button. It's not my camera. Yeah, it's not my camera because I have OBS open over here and it's perfectly smooth. It's something between Ecamm and the stream itself. Ecamm is lagging. Okay, so it's just my camera. Ecamm camera. Let's see if it can answer this question well. Oh yeah, it's over here too. Nope. Have I tried to turn it off and on again? Thank you. I didn't. I don't know what to do, honestly. The camera, the actual hardware is doing well. It's piping into my machine just fine because I see another window for it in OBS that I'm recording, and it's just fine. I have to stop the stream. See, that's what I don't want to do. Restarting. I don't want to restart the stream though. It's tolerable. Oh no, it's not good enough though. Not good enough, friend. Transfer stream to another device while you fix it. Interesting. I don't even know how to do that, Robert. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to try a couple things. I'm going to stop the recording on OBS. I'm going to quit OBS. So just give me a minute. Bear with me, everybody. Yeah, I think okay. It's OBS. It's OBS. The virtual camera isn't working well now. There we go. Yep. All right. See, I'm back. Here we go. All right. It was OBS. It was OBS. So if I start the recording again, hopefully it does not overload. Cool. We're back. We're back. Yes. Good. Okay. I'm going to hit record again. We're going to see if this works. And if it doesn't, we'll figure something else out. Boom. Click. All right. We are now recording and we're back, baby. All right. Bearing with it. Thank you, David. Cool. All right. Let's see what else we were going to talk about. Airbnb booking. Jonah, what do you think is a good one to test out? Actually, here's a good one. So hopefully this comes out okay. I'm going to turn off. Prepare yourselves for a flashbang. I want to download these. It's not going to make it easy, is it? No, it's not going to make it easy. I really hate that with Google Drive. Google Docs. It does not make it easy to just right click and download an image. It's crazy. All right, so hopefully you can see this. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay. So let me show you what happened. So I have my project journeykits.ai. Oh, it's starting to... I can see it's starting to lag again, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to lag again. Yep. Yep. Okay, it's the encoder. I think I'm actually, for the first time, overloading my beast of a system. So we're back. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, though. Let's see if there's some stuff we can close out. Maybe that's it. I'm going to close OBS and restart it. I'm here. Just give me a moment, everybody. All right, I'm going to do this too. I think this is actually hurting it. Almost back, almost back. There we go. Yeah, OBS, of course, failed me here. OBS is some garbage. I'm sorry. That's super annoying. Alex just told me my entire screen recording was not working with OBS because OBS is garbage. He didn't say it's garbage. I said it's garbage. All right, click. Let's see if we can get that working now. All right, let's come back here now. We got everything working. Hopefully it stays that way. So let me tell you kind of one of the examples, one of the great examples of how GPT 5.5 was actually kind of good on the front end. It already had the design. So GPT in general is not great at front end design, but since I already had the design, the physical layout was the problem I was facing. So I wanted this section right here of my product, journeykits.ai. In fact, let me just show that to you. So if we go into a kit, it's this section up here, and it looked horrible before, okay? So if we look at it right here, there was just so much empty space, and this was Opus 4.6 or 4.7. And it just didn't look good. Nothing lined up. Buttons were in weird places. And so I prompted 5.5, and this is what I got out of it. So much better, right? Cleaner, had kind of better understanding of space and layout. And then I prompted it one more time with a couple hints, and this is what it did. And this is the final result. And so I worked so hard with Opus to try to get this layout to work well, and it just could not do it. It did not understand the actual layout of my page, and GPT was able to. And I think that is a function of it being able to look at the page so effectively and understand what it's seeing and then iterate on it again and again. That is what is really good. All right. I think let's do some more testing. Okay, I like this one. Simon, full high detail anatomicals. Let's do that. I'm going to switch over to Codex. I don't know how fast this is going to be, but we'll test it together. All right. I'll move it over a little bit. That's okay. All right, let us test it. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. How does that look on stream? Looks good. All right, let's test it. We can just get rid of this. I want to go to, it's just this test box. Okay, 5.5 high in Codex, full high detail anatomicals, accurate figure of a person, controllable with full skeletal rigging and animation in an amazing graphical 3D environment. Let's go. And Simon Bullows, thank you for that recommendation. Okay. So you can see the speed is pretty good. I do have the fast speed on. I don't know if you can see that in the stream. Yeah, you can. So I have that little lightning icon. That means fast. So 1.5 times faster for 2.5x the cost. Why not extra high? I just found extra high is just not necessary. This is for Seaman Sandberg. It's not necessary. For the use cases I need, that extra thinking power wasn't necessary, and I didn't want to wait, right? I want faster responses. So that's what I get with just regular high. And it still is slow. And this is compared to Opus. Opus 4.6 fast mode is just the fastest thing ever. Which is faster, Opus 4.7 or Codex? It's Opus 4.7. Yeah. Opus is just a faster model in general. I mean, is it still going? This is so slow. All right, while that's going, is it still going? Yep, still thinking. I think testing it live might just be too slow. I don't have the patience to wait for it. And you know what we do in the meantime? We scroll Twitter. Okay, so, okay, 1 hour, 1.1 million views. I feel like Anthropic would have gotten more. Okay. Here is Matt Schumer's review. see what he said. It's a real upgrade. For a lot of day-to-day engineering work, the upgrade does not always matter. The previous models were already insanely good. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. Let's see if I can get Matt on. I'll text him. Let's see if he can join up the stream. All right, so I just, let's see. Is he going to be available? Okay, he's not available. All right. We got some results. Let me switch back to Codex. Okay, we got some stuff. I'll move this over. Oh, look at that. It's still going, but we got something. What do we think about this? I mean, this is pretty good. Zoom out. It looks like it's in a jail, and obviously the proportions are not great, but let's see. Walk. Okay, so it's definitely walking oddly, and I don't think bones are supposed to go in that direction. But okay. Let's see, running. That this is hilarious. And as you can see, it's still going, by the way. It's still going. Reach. All right. Looks like he's maybe doing like a semi-dab. T-pose. T-pose didn't work. Inspect. Okay, weird. I like walk. I mean, look, it's not that accurate. Look at the eyes. Look at the nose. It's not accurate. Animation speed. We can make it go real fast or slow. Okay, cool. Skin light intensity. Okay, or scan light intensity. Breathing amplitude. I don't see it breathing at all. Yeah, so look, the first pass renders. Okay, so it just rendered a new version. That's the blink you just saw. So it's just going through it. Found 2 polish issues while testing. The rig node count is lower than the UI implies. Okay. Let's see, walk now. Yeah, it's not any better. Can I actually like move it around? I can't actually like actually grab this guy. No, I can't. I don't think I can move him, unfortunately. I want to like ragdoll him. All right, it's done. It's done. That took 6 minutes, 39 seconds, and it's done. It looks off. It looks off because this is the looks maxing version. Yeah. All right. So yeah, look, this is okay. I mean, it's not anything amazing. Let's check out what a few other people have to say about it. This is kind of the industry reacts type of video. Let's see. So back to Matt Schumer. I just texted him. I let him know I'm covering his review. Shout out, Matt. Yeah, real upgrade. But he's right. Like, this is the point I was trying to make. The ceiling is super high on 5.5. It's higher than 5.4. But the ceiling is not necessary for the vast majority of use cases. So the improvement is not really felt there. Where you're going to find the improvement and where you're going to feel the improvement is on the token efficiency. even though you're paying 2x the price, hopefully you're doing the same level of intelligence or the same level of task at a far lower token budget. That is the hope. It's exceptional at serious software work. Yes. The biggest story is range. Yes. I haven't tested this, but design from existing context, iOS native Mac apps, security, etc., all very good. Let me pause for a second and just chill. We have a Discord now. We kind of revamped the Discord. Thank you to Brian for doing that. Go check us out. He'll drop a link in chat right now. Go join the Discord. Check out our newsletter, forwardfuture.ai. If you're watching this video, share it, like it, do all that stuff, comment. It's super helpful. We love talking to everybody. And as you can see, Brian and Alex are both super active in chat. So please do all those things. And we would love to have you in the Discord. And also, I should actually mention a little bit behind the scenes. We're adding more to our newsletter. I'm already super proud of it. We're at, I think, 70,000 subscribers on our newsletter. It's completely free. But we're starting to do more guest posts. We're starting to do more originals. So if you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, it is forwardfuture.ai, and go subscribe. That is the way. And you're going to see some of the friends that you see on the channel also writing guest posts there. All right. The good, it's an exceptional engineer. It can work until it's done. Yes. Meaningfully better at design. It understands space better. I wouldn't say it's a better designer. I mean, it is certainly better than 5.4, but it's not a better designer than Opus. Opus, its front end taste is just so much better. Sarder, when did this model drop? About an hour ago, a little over an hour ago. I want to show this for a second. Assassin, thank you for being the voice of community against Anthropic. I wouldn't say I'm against Anthropic. They've just been pissing me off lately. I like to be positive. I like to be optimistic. I'm hoping they will turn it around. But a lot of the decisions that they've made in the last 2 months have angered me. And so I had to say something about it. And if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's the last full video that I made. I put it on both X and YouTube. All right. The code is more readable. I don't ever read code anymore, so I can't speak to that. Security work is a big step up. Okay. The not so good. If you mostly use models for normal engineering tasks, it can be hard to feel the difference. Yes. The last generation, 5.4, was already more than good enough. Yes. Very good point, Matt. It is not my first choice for beautiful front-end work from scratch. Yes. This is the key. If you're doing design from scratch, I still would recommend going with Opus. But as I showed you earlier, if you have an existing design template and you're just looking to maximize or optimize space use and layout, this is phenomenal. 5.5 is really good. Okay, prose sometimes feels less thorough. Prose writing is bad. Judgment mistakes, the full review. Okay, go check out Matt's full review at Matt Schumer _. Let's look at the, oh no, this is his cryptography puzzle. Let's see how he's thinking about. No, so he hasn't posted about it yet. Okay, 5.5 medium is tied for SOTA on artificial analysis. 5.5 high and X high are meaningfully ahead. Okay, so he said 5 mil in, 5 per mil in, 30 per mil out. Hey, look at that. They did the, I think that maybe, can I call it the Matt Berman Rubik's Cube test? Can you call it that? I think that was the first one to do it. Anyway, so GPT-5.5 is blasting music. I am so sorry. Got it. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Loud. Yep. Can you still hear me okay? No audio. Yeah, so it's also weird, had to wrangle, and too expensive. Double the price of 5.4, 20% more expensive than 4.7. I think if you're comparing it to 4.7, you're going to find it's probably the same price overall with that token efficiency that you get. Super chat, thank you very much. If a train moves at 100 kilometers an hour and train B, if train A moves at 100 kilometers an hour and train B starts 20 minutes later and moves at a rate of 150, I mean, this is the type of problem that I got in like 8th grade. I would hope GPT can manage this one. Okay, let's test it. All right, I'll come back. Right. This model can write better code than any model I've used before. It also needs a lot of encouragement. Okay, pretty good. Ooh, interesting. Boris, we've been looking into recent reports around Claude Code quality issues and just published a post-mortem on what we found. I know this has nothing to do with 5.5, but this is interesting. Interesting. Let's cover this later. We'll cover this later. Oh, right. Let me watch the video. I'm going to react to the video. And I do need to turn back on the music. I'm going to make sure it's not blasting. You guys can see the whole thing. Let's do it. Okay, use browser. I think we've seen this. Yeah, there's the test. There's the Rubik's Cube test. I love it. Okay, plug it into Slack, plug it into Gmail, GitHub, all the things. It becomes really powerful. That's actually what Jonas said. He said when you're using it with, Google Docs and Word and all these other things, that's where you really see the power of 5.5. All right, there's not much here. Cool. I think that's about it. Ooh, Lenny just dropped a new podcast with Kat Wu, head of product for Claude Code. Very cool. Go check him out. I think we're going to call it there, guys. I know we didn't get through a lot of those tests, so I apologize for that. Let's try the train catch up. Assuming train B starts from the same point and gap of 50 m means 50 meters, means B is still 50 meters behind A. Train A's 20-minute head start. Okay. I don't think I have the mental energy to think through this. Is that the answer? Person who prompted it? Let's see. With a gap of 50 meters. It takes exactly 40 minutes and 1 hour. Okay. He said it's correct. There you go. Thank you. Thanks for verifying that. Now, how do I verify you? I have to ask ChatGPT Pro. And then who verifies that? We'll end there. Oh, no, there is one other thing I need to go over. I'll record that separately. I'll just do the outro now. I appreciate all you staying around here. Hanging out. Video's glitchy. Okay. Yeah, go check out the Discord. We'll drop links. We just relaunched it. Come join us there. Check out the newsletter, forwardfuture.ai. Follow me on Twitter at Matthew Berman. And it's been a pleasure. We're going to do more of these streams. See y'all.